We still have 3 minutes.
No, just say exactly when I should press play.
Okie dokie. Okay, we're ready. Hit it, Joe. All right.
Good evening and welcome to the After Hours show. This is Joe in Norway. I'll be your cook this evening, and I've lost my headset. Oh my goodness, can everybody hear me?
Yep, we can
All
hear
right.
you.
All right. My name's Joe in Norway. This is the After Hours show with the Autonomous Collective. I'm joined by Ann Lee, a retired college professor and a community member at the Daily Coast. They're a member of the National Council of Independent Scholars and is a contributor to the book, The Political Economy of Art, Making the Nation of Culture. Hey, Ann.
Howdy, what's for
Now,
supper?
we've got a special guest here, a friend from the former show, Arjun from Deep Into History podcast. It's been a long time. It's been a pandemic away. Arjun, how are you? Welcome.
Yo, thank you. Thank you for having me. Even under the circumstances, it's wonderful to be back with you guys. It feels like being with family again.
Wow, it's lovely. Lovely to see you and hear you. If we've got any new people here, we've any old people or new people from the former show, we're still more or less doing the same thing we've always done. Anne's yammering about all the positive things going on in the world politically and whatnot, and
Positive.
I'm doing I'm doing kitchen ASMR, still quietly cooking 100% vegetarian meals. No animal products, just like the old days. We're still continuing on. I like to change it up. We're doing a little culture jamming here. It's harvest season in Norway and in the mountains. And we just got back from traveling all over the world for the past year. And there's so many dishes that I'd like to make. But I thought I'd do something funky here. We've got lingonberries. I might need some light here. I was going to do blueberries this evening. I'm going to do a fried cauliflower, a Korean style fried chicken, but instead of chicken, we're doing cauliflower. So it's crispy, crunchy, gochujang, chili fried cauliflower. It's a lovely, tasty treat. But I thought I'd change it up. Instead of adding either tamarind or some sour vinegar, we're going to add lingonberries. So lingonberries, if no one's familiar, they're kind of like miniature cranberries. So very, very tart. And when you we're going to create a nice salty, sour, mildly sweet, numbing, spicy chili sauce to coat the fried cauliflower. And and when you eat some of these little berries, they just pop right out in your mouth when you're picking out the pieces. Um, to change things up here to make it not so much Korean, we're going to mix in a little Chinese here, Sichuan. I've got some Sichuanese pepper in addition to the gochujang and the gochujang sauce or paste, which is a combination of soya and chili paste. We've got Sichuan peppercorns, which will provide a numbing taste in addition to the heat. So we're going to grind those up. We'll chop up the cauliflower. We'll do all the prep here, and then we're going to go outside, and hopefully the torrential downpours will have subsided so that I don't have to deep fry it in the rain. That is a little challenging, but I'll do the prep, and then I'll butt in here and there to point out some things or ask questions. But I think we can give it over to Arjun if you want to catch
Yeah,
us
Arjun,
up on what's been going on. I hear it's not very positive.
Sure thing. And yo, like that looks delicious. Yeah, I have some questions about the debate that's going on in the West between ginger and galingals, but we'll talk about that
Oh,
later.
okay.
Um, so everyone, my name's Arjun. If you don't know me, I host the indie podcast Deep into History. I've been at it 7 years, been nominated, though never won, several awards. But this year it looks like I might win the Canadian Podcast Award. Um, j- um, but I come to you today. Because Joe invited me back into the fold. I'm one of your original um members back in the Wuhan on the Hudson days. Let's put it that way. Um we were a really small group, but we got each other through like the worst, darkest days of the pandemic. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but like I feel like as a society we have failed to reconcile. But at that time, in the media there was so much information. They'd be promoted, they'd be talking about, um, you know, untested, unverified, non-peer reviewed studies and posting them like it was news. So it was a very like schizophrenic response to the pandemic, and we all just kind of kept each other sane through it. And I think it spread outwards, that kind of vibe, that aura spread outwards to our friends and our families, and we just kind of rode it, and it was unique and a wonderful time, and like I love you guys forever. um However, tonight, like, something like really tragic happened to my family. I don't mean to get emotional. Um, but all of you need to know like how the modern identity theft scam works. So, what I'll do, like I have notes and stuff, but it's us. So I'm just gonna explain it, and I want you guys to definitely, absolutely, listen to the Deep Indian History episode. I'll post links. Um, it's called Scammed. It's about the modern identity theft scam. And there's also a link to the GoFundMe, which I started. You don't have to donate, but also read there because there's a ton more details. So I'm just gonna take you back to where it started, as far as I've been able to uncover it, because what my father has gone through is a complete and total like stolen identity. Um, and in the process and during this period, so I'm speaking from like November of last year till now, um, we learned that he's in the early stages of dementia. Um, you know, In November, we had he had been he'd been forgetting things. A lot of what I'm going to say is only um I can only say tragically with hindsight. However, like I want you guys to know the signs. In November, my father came to me and said that he had been told about this great investment idea called cryptocurrency. If you guys know anything about me, you know that I was immediately against it. Um, I told um I told him not absolutely not to do it. So of course he did. That's the nature of our relationship. Uh, but it was a one-time thing. He did one investment of $2,300 and he thought that was it. Um, I didn't know because, you know, I'm obviously much younger than my father, but like also like of a much like younger generation. Um, Cryptocurrency, right? If you ever hear like an investment opportunity in crypto, it's bullshit. Just know that immediately. Cryptocurrency, the entire idea behind the blockchain is that it's one to one. You may have to use a trading platform, sure, but it's one to one. It's not like stocks. It's, I mean, as bullshit as stocks are, it's not like stocks. There's no investment advice. No one knows anything. So if an investment bank calls you, um, uh, ignore it. In his case, because he's in mental decline, um, and the caller IDs that was getting were from his bank, and from his bank, I'm in the process of uh, fighting this, like, so that he can get at least some of his money back, because all the caller IDs, all the emails seem legitimately from his bank. So I'm not going to name it. I've been advised not to name it. But you guys all know I'm from Toronto. So I don't know. Maybe you can take a guess what bank it is. Um, all of the calls he was getting constantly, all of the emails he was getting constantly were from his bank or the investment arm of that bank.
So they were spoofing.
I can't answer that. I cannot confirm or deny, and I'm sorry,
Sorry.
but you're warm or hot. Um, so basically what happened was, after he made that initial investment, and the only way I came aware of the fact that I had made that initial investment was that he kept on showing me these like printed, mailed copies with the bank information of his investments, showing that all these like crypto coins, like crypto coins I had never even heard of, meme coins. But every week he would get a printout of his holdings showing that they had grown 17 to 25% every single week. Now, I basically said, okay, great. I'm happy you made money. I'm happy I'm wrong, whatever. January, February comes. I noticed that with hindsight, he was getting calls all the time, and he was talking to people who were speaking to him as if they were very, very old friends. And occasionally, and from the call logs, occasionally at the time I noticed, but also from the call logs now, they all appear to be from his bank. What they were doing was this. They were trying to get everyone who spoke to him, establish a rapport, and then were getting tiny, tiny bits of information, one little thing at a time. Okay. So how that works is, um, for example, with the original crypto investment, it came from the investment branch of his bank, and they said, no worries, we're gonna set up your crypto.com account for you. And in order for you to do this, in order for us to do this for you, we just need you to verify a few things. So obviously, a significant amount of information went out from there. In January and February, they said, with your return so great, you'll be able to retire like to Tahiti or whatever. Um, but the thing is, we want to make these transfers seamless so we can transfer this money back to you to your account, and we need to verify certain information. So they read back the information that he had already given and asked for just the extra, each time, just like one more element at each time. Completely friendly, like he was speaking to, he's never spoken to me that nicely, like he was speaking to his best friend, you know? And my sister feels exactly the same way. Like dad has never talked like that to any of us. But what was happening was it's part like confidence scheme, part investment scheme, part crypto scheme, part information scheme. These all these elements, as far as I can tell, roughly 9 to 12 people were involved who he all knew their names of. Like he knew their names. They could call him and he would know who he was talking to. Because a lot of the times when they're building these kind of rapport with elderly people, they aren't like a lot of the calls are just checking in. How are you doing? What are you doing today? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So he thought, and this kind of scam from everyone I've confided in and spoken to is ubiquitous. It's across the world. Everyone I assure you, every single person knows someone or is related to someone who has experienced the same thing. So, what happened was that he, over the course of the winter, starting in late March, he had given out so much information to these people that they had basically been able to impersonate him. They had stolen his identity. They could log on to his bank accounts from Albania,
Oh,
believe it or not, and literally e-transfer it out. Now his money out. Now my father worked his entire life to build up a successful limo company, and he has some very good um, corporate clients. Like he and his drivers do all the service, and the billing comes at the end of the month. They knew exactly when that money would come in, and they'd immediately e-transfer it out to the original crypto account, which they set up, and then from the crypto account to them, thus making it for Western authorities basically untraceable. Um, I didn't understand the scope of it. My family, my mother, my sister, it's just us three in our immediate family. We all just assumed because I'm sure like a lot of people, or my dad was, even though he had a good, he made a good living, he always was chasing that kind of, that lottery ticket kind of dream. Let me make it really big. He was never satisfied. And so we just assumed that he was throwing good money after bad. It wasn't until my mother called me in June. She was having a huge blow up with my father. We all knew something was wrong. I didn't know what. I had been, my sister and I had been, giving money whenever it was needed. Registered mail has started coming in. Bills has started piling up. And the reason for that is because my father's in mental decline and he had all his bills on auto pay he assumed everything was right. Like he never really had to check his bank account before because the clients would pay, the drivers, his employees, the drivers would be paid, and the bills would be paid. He had no reason to suspect otherwise. So on that day, it was June 17th, went to my parents' house as this blow up was happening because it was bad. And dad swore to me that he had only ever invested 2,300 in crypto. And it was at that point when I said, okay, I believe you because I believed him. Like I saw his eyes, you know, he, it was the truth. So I asked him to open up his bank account and show me what was happening. And from the bank accounts, I can just kind of like briefly just like hold up here. This is like the printout of what I discovered. I know it's not clear, but I can post pictures for you guys later. So this like marks every single like transaction from e-transfer from his bank account to the crypto account, and then it was transferred out to a company called BTC. So it looked to him, even though he wasn't aware. But if someone was, given the fact that they were getting the statements, if it's going from your money is going to BTC, what does that look like? It looks like Bitcoin, right? So, this is how they keep the scheme going forever. Um, the next day, obviously, immediately I called the bank and I told them that the fraud was happening. The next day, I went there and lodged like a formal fraud complaint. It took hours, 4 hours. Like I shit you not, I was on the phone for 4 hours at a bank with the bank manager, like across. We're passing the phone back and forth. So with that fraud claim came um, massive restrictions on his bank account, meaning that like there was no online banking. They told us the bank manager can testify to this fact. The employees of the bank can testify to this fact that he was completely cut off from online access, and we had to do everything old school from now on, right? Meaning, I'm sure a lot of you don't remember the old days, but if you got a bill in the mail, you would take it to the bank, the paper, pay it, and they'd stamp it, and you take it back. Each one of the each one one of the funny things about this is that none of the tellers, they're all young, they don't know how to do this stuff anymore. So literally to pay a single bill would take an hour. And there were days where from June going onwards to the end of July, where I would spend 4 to 5 hours at the bank every day just trying to figure out how to pay the bills because even like the bank manager who's older than me doesn't can't make sense of that old system, right? Like they need certain like the key codes. It's all basically online. But I said whatever.
If I wanted to cut a check, I'd have to wait about 2 to 3 weeks. My bank actually has to call a company in Poland to have them print the check and mail it to me to send to somebody. Checks haven't been used here since last century, I think.
Yeah,
All that old school stuff.
precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like try going to a restaurant and paying with a check. Like good luck. They won't even know what you're talking about. I guarantee like the servers won't know what you're talking about. But this is all to say that I had assumed because the bank told me, the head office of the bank told me and my father that all online access had been cut off. So I had gone through um, figuring out as much of the scam as I possibly could, focusing primarily on like his personal and business accounts because my father is in steep mental decline. I should also point out that during this time, we found out that the doctors told us that like he's in the early stages of dementia. This is the only time we really actually got confirmation of that. And as a result, because everything is sort of written in like code, I'll post pictures. You guys, this isn't just you guys can't see it, but every when you get printouts of stuff, everything is like sort of like an abbreviation or a code for who you're transferring the money to or what bills you're paying, etc. Um, and because it's not mine, it's not my sister's, we can't, we don't know. And because my father is in mental decline, he cannot tell us. He doesn't know. He doesn't remember. So it's like assembling a jigsaw puzzle without the picture, you know? Um, I focus on that exclusively. My sister was trying to figure out the credit cards, but she gave up because they've been maxed out. Um, and we just said, okay, you know what? Let's just deal with the fraud from this bank account first, because if we can get some of that cash back, we can begin to dig ourselves out of this hole. Everything online access has been blocked. We did everything the bank said. And we know that the clients, because the company's still running, you know, it's successful. End of July, the clients will pay because they always pay at the end of the month after their bill, after they're invoiced. So again, I spent untold hours negotiating, some cases like seducing, flirting, whatever I had to do to make the people my father personally and the company owed money to understand that he had been a victim of identity theft. And I did. I made them understand. I said, the first time I can start paying you guys back is at the end of July. So, end of July comes, the client's paid the day of. I go to the bank with my father because I always need him there with me. Um, Hoping to make these, I had a list 20 payments, small, but enough to let the companies know that I'm credible. Like this is a true story, you know? Only to find out that that day they had taken it out. They'd withdrawn it in. What makes me angry the most is that it's the most suspicious e-transfers I've ever seen in my life. $1,000 increments, one after another. They completely drained everything that the clients had deposited. And in addition, to alleviate the situation, we had unlocked a bit of my father's savings that, you know, were locked away in long-term kind of investments. Um, they were deposited into his personal account that day, and the exact same thing happened.
Wow.
They completely stole everything after the bank had assured us that that would be impossible. So, um, like, long story short, I've filed another claim, obviously, several, um, but it's just a colossal fight. I've been assured by people I know who work in the industry that if I keep fighting and keep going, eventually they'll pay out because the bank has liability insurance. But the thing is that they bank on the fact that people like us will give up because it's so much work. It's a full-time job doing this.
Mm.
And um so that's still going on. In fact, I'm supposed to have a resolution on something on Monday. I'm not hopeful, but there's something. But at least that brings it to the final stage, where it's the final resolution, where I can talk to someone high up in the bank and make my case. Um, but I want, uh, because I lost like all credibility by renegotiating the bills and the fact that the money wasn't there. repossessions have started happening, and my parents are they're about to lose their house. Like, I mean, I barring a miracle, I don't think I can stop it. My sister and I have poured all our personal savings to help them, and it's not enough. Like, because it's not just covering them. I have to cover like their company. It's all like interwoven, you know? But what I want
Could you
you guys,
could you clear something up for me?
sure, absolutely.
You said the number was coming from the bank. Was it actually the bank
No.
related to the bank, the investment, or it's completely the scammers are separate?
Yeah, they're
How did that
completely
one?
separate. The
Okay.
phone companies are implicated in this
Mm,
100%. We have
mm,
an oligopoly in Canada for our phone companies. I think
mm.
four at most, two major. And they're giving these scammers the ability to create a number that obviously looks like a major T institution that should not be allowed. Like it's how is that possible? All right. Unless crypto and all of this stuff is all linked together. I don't know. I don't want to get conspiratorial on this, but the point is, um, what the nightmare like my family is living through right now is happening to everyone. Like there is not a single person I've spoken to, not one. All right. And I have not only through you guys, but through my podcast, I have a worldwide network of listeners, friends, podcasters, creators. Not one person, not one, doesn't know someone or isn't related to someone who an element of this is happening to. Not this complete identity theft. This is the nightmare, right? But there is that kind of like the initial crypto investment. There is
Mm.
that kind of transfer me this money or click this link, right? The clicking the link gives them access to allowing to spy. So, I just wanted to give you guys like a few tips that are the only painfully like with hindsight, you know, that I know. If any of you or anyone you know, and tell everyone you know, gets a phone call from a financial institution, hang up and call your financial institution back. Okay? They won't hanging up on them. They're not gonna get insulted. Don't be polite. These are not polite times. Hang up, call, and find out why they would be calling you because they won't. They don't. All right. I mean, it goes without saying in this crowd, but never, ever, ever give out any information on the phone or via email. Like just don't do it. Whoever's asking you for it, ask what institution they're from, hang up, call them. In email, you'll often what I saw in my father's emails, right? Literally the same header as his bank, and the email was less convincing than the phone ID for me anyway. But for him, it looked like legit, you know? Never, ever, ever click a link. Just don't. What happens is when you click those links, okay, it bypasses your security, whatever security you have on your laptop or iPhone or whatever. By clicking that link, they'll ask you some like sometimes like bullshit question. Do you want to go to this or do you want to do this? And you'll say yes, right? However, by saying yes, what you're doing is basically installing a whole bunch of spyware on your device, right? They can track you. They can see what you're doing. In his case, I had to throw away his smart TV because this is a horror story, but they were watching him. Um, watch out, and I cannot stress this enough. Caller ID is effing meaningless. Okay? Do not trust it. even if you think it is the bank, you can be polite. You can just say, look, I'm gonna call the bank back on the number of like my bank card. Don't call the number they give you because the number they give you will be one of them. All right. And the last thing I just kind of like wanna say before I take any questions you guys have, um, we all need to watch out for our elders, like the older generation, because I barely understand the internet and all the scams, Like, you know, but I'm a little more savvy. They have no idea what they're doing. They have complete trust, you know? So, yeah, I mean, that's it. I just wanted no one should have to go through this. I don't want any of you to go through this. I don't want anyone you know to go through this. I don't want anyone in the world to go through this. So please like share my my episode and just share my episode. Just I'm much more eloquent on my show, I promise you. Uh
A little more edited.
uh
Yeah.
Kay
Well,
asks, so what have the police done? The police can't do much. I spoke to a very good, very nice detective, and he took the full report. However, you know, there's they have jurisdictions, and these are international scams. So even though they pretended to be a financial institution here, they have no ability to chase them there. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They like
yeah.
they can't go to in this case Albania to get to get those people because
Well,
there's no um way to do so for them. Anyway, sorry.
doesn't Canada have a sort of like an anti-fraud thing agency? It's kind of like what our FBI does, that they have a whole apparatus for trying to chase these things down.
Yeah,
Because I
we do. It's
assume that,
oh, sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just assume that these guys are well known, these scammers are well known, or that they
Mhm.
should be doing something about catching them.
Okay, so yes, absolutely. I reported it to this is the it's sort of like a an offshoot of the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which is basically like our FBI. Now, the process is you report it to your local police and then report it to them. However, their function is not to seek justice or go after the criminals. What they're doing is establishing a database so that they can warn others, which is great. It's fine, but they make it clear to you that like by reporting it to them, it doesn't mean that they're going to go to Interpol. In fact, they won't. They don't.
Mm.
It's you feel very much alone. Like I've reached out to my representatives, my member of provincial parliament, which would be like your state senators,
Right.
and my member of parliament, which would be your congressman,
Right.
and they're not willing to do anything. They won't touch anything that has to do with this because it indicts a lot of the things that they believe in, like crypto, like you know, complete deregulation of online finances. They will not lift a finger. I had called my member of parliament 9 times before I got a call back. And when I spoke, not to him, but to his representative, she just completely like brushed it off. She's like, "Oh, it happens." What? 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 It happens? What is your purpose then? Like it's like the idea of constituent service doesn't exist in Western governments anymore. So, um, that sorry, Kay, I believed in crypto? No, I did. I did a history talk for this thing called Doge Generals every Sunday on the early iteration of Twitter Spaces. They were an NFT company. I never bought one. I never asked anyone to buy one. I never did anything like that. Never, never.
You
Just
used to push it here, though.
Lane?
Yes,
I did not push NFTs. That's
That wa-
bullshit.
you
That's a
did. You
lie. No,
definitely did because we used to
I,
argue
s-
oh,
about it.
I said,
I think that was something
I,
else, no?
oh, good to hear your voice, man. No, what I said was during that era of that debate was I have zero problem with an artist I know making several $100,000 and paying off their student loan and like their credit card debts by selling NFTs. That's
Mm,
was my defense, not a defense of the industry.
mm.
Absolutely not. Never. You know me better than that, man.
I know that's one of the main things I remember about you, though. That's the thing.
Really?
And I
So
don't
when
know
you
you
think
better. That's the
Arjun, you
point.
think
And I
crypto.
don't know you better because we haven't seen you in God knows how long. So you could be spouting utter bullshit. I'm not saying you are, but you could be.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, the
Well,
emotion's too raw on this. Let's not joke about that. But no, this
yeah,
isn't.
well,
No, this is truth.
because I can't understand for the life of us why, considering they've broken the law won't do anything about it.
Hmm.
What about his lawyer? What's his? Because
My father's lawyer?
yeah, yeah.
Well, because we have no money, my legal defense is friends I know. And luckily, I have
No, but
my
when
sister
you
my sister's a lawyer. She's a different kind of lawyer. But both of us have some like successful friends in the legal business. And my friend went through the entire claim with me, the all my fraud claims. And basically what he said was, look, no lawyer wants to take on a big bank, especially in this era, in
no, I'm not on
anyone
about
who,
that. I'm not suggesting your lawyer would have done that. I'm suggesting your lawyer would have pursued it legally
you
because
mean
they've broken the
lawyer,
law. If they've done
lawyers,
this, they've broken the law, and if you've had no remuneration from the police or the feds or whatever, the Mounties, your then lawyer would be fucking up in arms. It's a
uh,
they've committed a crime and it has
I
to
don't,
be investigated.
no, okay, okay, it's all about jurisdiction, right? If the
Yeah.
scammers are international, they're Canadian, even our national police, FBI, MI5, where you are, kind of thing. They have no ability to go after them. Okay,
Yes,
and
they
and
do.
I mean they do technically, but they have no inclination.
They have no
Um,
inclination.
None.
They have to. That's what Interpol exists for. That's why it exists.
Yep. That's why, like, the International Criminal Court exists. That's why a whole bunch of institutions exist that we're supposed to have faith in, but they have
Oh yeah,
no
well that's
ability.
different. The different than having faith, but like and that's why Interpol exists. That'd be
That's what
if
I
I
thought.
you should have
Lane,
gone to press.
what you're saying,
Why haven't you gone to the media? If
I
I'd had no truck with
will
the police, I would have threatened the police. I'd have said, look, if you're not going to pursue this fucker, you're fucking me dad's life up. If you're not pursuing this, I'm going to the media and I'll out you.
until I've been advised that until that is a step I'm willing to take, and believe me, I'm enraged enough to absolutely do it, and I can do it convincingly because I have like a platform already. But I've been advised that let's take it through the fraud claim process through the bank.
Well, that's
And the
well.
thing is, hang on, the thing is, there's always a 10 to 15 day business day time period before you get an answer. So it's very long. It's very drawn out. The basically what it is that they basically want to make it as frustrating as possible for anyone to kind of get any kind of remuneration or um damn Joe, that looks good. But to like it's basically to try to get you as to give up. I mean, that's
Oh yeah, well
basic.
that's
That's
always
just
the
what it
case.
is.
That's always the case.
No,
Arjun, one of the things that shocked me was in the episode on your podcast, you mentioned that you went to the bank and they put a block on all of his accounts or whatever so that none of the transactions could go through to the scammers. And yet that wasn't the case and it kept happening. So how how could that how could the bank be exempt from liability there?
well, that's sort of yeah.
Yeah, so,
Great question. That's sort of like the second part of my answer
uh,
to what Lane was saying. So the initial what the lawyers have, well, lawyer, my friend, has told me is that basically because mental decline aside, my father gave out that information. Okay. So what he's saying is that it'll be very, very difficult for us to get any kind of compensation for the initial fraud before I discovered it. So June 17th is sort of the line. But from July onwards, end of July onwards, when I thought everything had been cut off, that should we should be able to at least get that back. I mean, it's not a lot given the hole we're in, but it's something. Um, but and that's only possible because the bank manager and the employees of the bank all saw me there. Like I was there. I'm not exaggerating. 4 hours for each claim. Um, Hours spent that like the tellers, these like 20-year-olds asking me, wait, why are you bringing this bill? Pay it online. They're asking me why. So they all knew about it because the bank had assured not only me, but the bank manager, and what do you call it? Assistant bank managers. There are three of them. And the senior people at the branch my father goes to, that he had been cut off from online access. So yes, for that part, they're still giving me a runaround. Today was another deadline, and they rejected it again. So there's levels of escalation. When you first file a claim, that's one. You'll get declined. I 100% guarantee it. Doesn't matter because they want to see if you'll take the next step. The second escalation is when you deal with a fraud specialist. The fraud specialist will then go through it. You have to be an artist. Have your case. My advice is if you go through anything like this, print out everything, have your facts in order. Talk to a mirror beforehand because you're going to get really, really pointed questions about your argument. And if you are like, because they record the conversations, if anything is flawed, even slightly, they're going to deny your claim. The third escalation is senior escalation, where senior executives at the bank get involved. And now you can't just appeal to that level. Your case has to have some like credible merit to get that to that level. Now for the July onwards, when they told us like they're obviously at fault, um, I just got to that level for this today. So, like I said, on Monday we'll see what happens. But I'm not gonna stop, at least for that part. I don't know. I just don't want any of you to go through this stuff. And like, yeah, my family might be aft, but no one else's should be. Like, just we gotta look out for everyone around you. And like if you hear about these people saying, especially if they show you papers that look legit, like, oh look, I made 25% interest last week. And then they show you another one. I made 30, 18% or whatever. They're all fake. it's a lie. They're doing this to elderly people across the world. Like I cannot, I've said it, but I can't say it enough. And I'm sorry, I'm taking up so much of your time, but I just wanted you guys to know
No
that like
worries. One thing
Right.
I took away is that if I want to get closer to my parents, I'm gonna have to start a meme coin or something.
Yeah.
yeah, you should. You should call it what Korean cauliflower coin? Kimchi coin.
Oh, the trick to keeping your crispiness is to fry it first and then fry it again. So you need to get the second time so the vegetable will steam after the first fry and then it'll make it soggy. So then you have to fry it again to get back that crispy goodness.
Beautiful.
Cool.
That's awesome.
This kind of identity theft stuff is touches everyone. My mother, when she was getting well, uh, losing cognitive skills, let's put it that way, she would get regular calls from idiots in Jamaica who were just sitting in a bar, probably trying to con money out of her. Fortunately, she had no money to be conned out of, but it was just really bizarre. I had to track down a whole bunch of that shit.
It's
Our banks climb all over that shit. As
it
soon as you tell them, it's fucking bells and whistles, you know. Just don't understand why it's just so inept to the response.
I
But
think
there should be.
the ineptness is tied to the ubiquity because
Yeah.
every teller I spoke to at the bank said like every old person, and this is not kind of like any kind of like thing about disparaging the elderly or boomers or whatever. It's just like they just get taken advantage of. They're easier to take advantage of, especially people who are in mental decline. And now that people are living longer than they ever have before, we're experiencing levels of mental decline that the human race really never has. So, it's just an easier time to go through that. And given the fact that like the victims, this is an important factor actually. People are ashamed when they get scammed. They are the loss of self-esteem. My dad is not, he's a shadow of himself. Like it's nuts. Um, and this is a proud man. They're ashamed when they get scammed. They don't tell anyone. They just don't. They take it like, okay, I lost it. Like I said, my case is extreme. My family's case is extreme. In a lot of cases, it's $2,000 to $10,000. And they're willing to say, rather than tell my family and embarrass myself, you know, and ruin their perception of me, I'll just let it slide. And
Just a personal failing.
exactly, and that's why they don't normally go to this like extraordinary length. I'm 100% sure the dementia played into it. They saw that, okay, this is a sucker. We can get everything out of him. But most old people are like elderly people or, who are completely unfamiliar with the internet, probably lonely, approached in a very friendly manner. They know they can scam them out of, 5 to 10 grand, and they're probably not going to do anything about it. And that's how it goes, you know?
It's like skimming off the top. So almost
Exactly. It
undetectable.
in the most gross, disgusting, and
Mhm.
way possible. Because like I said, there's a level of like a confidence scheme. They make them believe. There are a lot. We always hear about like, oh, loneliness is an epidemic among the young. Well, I hate to break it to you, it's an epidemic among the old by a factor of 10. And these people prey on that loneliness. Offer them friendship, offer them understanding, offer them respect. And that's why, like, it sounds I was never familiar with this world. You know, I wish I wasn't familiar with this world. But since I've been like stuck in this nightmare with my family, I've like reached out to other people who have hooked me up to other like creators who like go after these scammers. I'll post a few links for you guys if you want to check them out. And if one through line that you'll notice through all of them is that they're only going for about 2 to 10,000 roughly, just enough that they can get them out of it relatively quickly, and they would not report it because it would make them feel like an asshole for getting scammed. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand like that? Like
Yeah.
that's a more insidious element of it. And what they'll do is they take that information, that person they scammed information, they hold on to it. 6 months down the road, they sell it to another scammer who does the same thing again and then gets more information. So that identity, that whole this kind of whole scale identity theft that like we're going through that happened very rapidly with us because of my father's mental decline can be done over the course of a couple of years by selling that information from scammer to scammer to scammer, and the last person has a full picture, you know?
Yeah.
But yo, thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, please let me know. Someone asked me something. Um, how can you tell the signs of dementia? Sorry, stumbling down the social media path asked. Um, I'm no expert. In my case, uh, we started noticing that dad was getting forgetful, but not, it's kind of hard. Like, not, it was never obvious. You know, this is only with the benefit of hindsight. Um, he'd forget a thing here, a thing there, and then it would become more often, you know? And the thing about dementia is that the decline is steep and rapid. And suddenly, dad couldn't remember like day-to-day stuff, you know? He has long-term memory still, but not anything that happened recently. My advice to you is if you suspect, forget like, uh, I mean, dementia aside, if you feel like a relative is often forgetful, go with them to the doctor. Offer to take them. They're more than willing. They love to go to the doctor anyway. So, so go with them and ask very pointed questions, and not only pointed questions, um, explain your experience.
Oh,
Tell the
excuse me,
doctor what's
Arjun.
happening.
I'm sorry. We have a large U.S. contingent here. They may not have health care that doctor to go
Okay, true enough.
to.
True enough. Okay.
Poor bastards.
Darn
But
socialists.
truly,
Yeah.
if you notice that they're becoming uh forgetful, I would track it. And again, hindsight, 3 things in a week. I wish I had intervened when my dad forgot 3 things in a week last November, for example. Um, because he never forgot anything, right? Um,
I forget fucking three things in a
I
minute.
wish I could have
Jesus.
intervened then. So if you notice anything like that, spend time with them. If you don't have, like, sorry, I should have been sensitive to that, but like if you don't have access to a doctor, um, spend time with them. Figure it out. And if you know something is wrong, um, seek help as best you can. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if we didn't have like kind of shitty socialized healthcare here because like we've been drained completely financially by this entire
Mhm.
situation.
Oh,
There's no way in the American system we would have any medical support.
Mhm.
And I feel
And you
bad for them.
posted something about the Pew Research. What was that? The
It's just
extent of
data.
the
It, it's just data on how many scams. It's hundreds of billions of dollars have been lost to this
per year.
Yeah, per year. It's a Pew study from 2024 on on scams, on frauds and stuff. So I put that resource in the chat.
It was a great. I suggest everyone absolutely everyone should read it. It's in the it's in the original link for this episode. It was great. It was a great article
Can be found
and
on the website as well.
yeah,
Autonomouscollective.net.
and it kind of verifies for anyone doubters like Lane, um, what's it called? What I'm saying, because when you notice the ubiquity of the scam and that it's across the world, all of these people, sorry, I should say a lot of these people, but all of the families who discovered it, reached out to their politicians, to their authorities, to their politicians, police, authorities, the powers that be. And what has been done? Nothing. We have to look out for one another, and that's the only way we're going to stop this because they don't care. They just don't care.
Well, it is the problem of democracy. That you actually have to create, consumer watchdogs for, what should be a normal activity. Oh, well, they should act ethically, but that's a whole nother thing. It does seem to me, though, that there's, aside from the anti-fraud stuff, that there should be a bank regulator or a consumer, something.
Protection.
Yeah.
Are there any activist groups around this issue locally that you've found or know of?
No, I know a bunch of Twitch streamers who scamsters. No, there's like
maybe a little more
because
localized, focused on specific banks.
because
Hmm.
again, I have to be careful what I say.
Ah!
Like because we're just in a very delicate process right
Yeah.
now. I can riff on that bank all you want another time. But no, because what basically what happens is they make it so difficult and you feel so small, embarrassed. Or like I said, sometimes it's an amount that's low enough that even though it hurts, you can recover from it. So why fight? You know? And in this kind of system, in our current like late stage capitalist system, there are very few lawyers who will actually take on a huge financial institution because it can ruin their practice. Because you don't want them as your enemy. It's what I'm saying. The reason I put out that episode, like I said, I'm a pretty like private person, but the reason not only like I'm desperate for help, but also I don't want anyone else to go through this. So I'm just in part, I'm not an expert. I'm like I said, I'm discovering the depths of this scam is like solving a jigsaw puzzle without the picture, but I want no one else to have to go through this. So if I can help anyone, then please share it, Please share that episode, tell people about it, because it just came from the heart. That wasn't a script I was reading.
Yeah. You're more expert than any of us. Christ.
I hope
Tremendous
none
stuff.
of you are ever experts in this lane.
Yeah.
This is like, man, people are coming and taking shit away from my parents' house. I don't want to get emotional. But
I did enjoy you mentioning that anybody over 50 is clueless about how the internet
absolutely,
works.
anyone over 50,
Thank you very much.
Arjun,
when someone, you're not the first. One of my pictures pointed out to me like over 50. I'm over 50, and I'm like, wait, I said 50. I didn't, like I said, it wasn't a script. It was just, it was just coming from the heart. But like, I think anyone, yeah, because like I was, I was what? In puberty during like the beginning when Hotmail came out, that was my puberty, right? I still have my Hotmail account.
Oh,
What's it called? So when the internet was starting, but I I started my podcast what 7 years ago, right? I had no social media, none of that. I had to learn all of that myself. Putting out the podcast, learning the show, learning social media, learning new things. I stepped in a million potholes. Imagine someone 10, 20 years older than me. They wouldn't even know what was happening unless they were saturated in it, like from the beginning.
well, you've spent enough time on this. Perhaps you can pitch a documentary, get some money from the
Get the
Canadian
Netflix
government,
money in.
make a
Yes.
film. I mean, to me,
Yeah.
I'd start writing a fantasy script where I tracked down the idiots in Albania and did something to them.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
put the
metal away,
that's what I
Ann.
call a
Put the metal
pleasant
away.
dream. My pleasant dreams are literally me in Albania.
Contact. Tell John Ronson on Twitter. I'm not joking. Tag John Ronson in. It's right up his alley, this sort of shit.
I will. Yeah.
That's true.
I'm gonna appear on a couple of podcasts you guys know soon. As a guest explaining this. Like because we're fam. I just kind of like, just poured my heart out to you guys. But I have like a more professional way of doing it. But I just want to get the like help help me or not, if it saves my parents' house or not, it at this point it doesn't matter. I just don't want I I don't want anyone else to go through this. Like not even like my worst enemy. It's yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because I'm watching my dad fall apart, and at the same time, my my sister, my mother, we poured our life savings to salvage the situation that we didn't understand. We thought he was just made bad investments, which is a pattern of behavior throughout his life, to be honest. But to realize that it was just being transferred to these scammers, like, yo, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting emotional, and
We can get more intimate after the show.
uh,
And
um,
did you have some ranting to do or update on Ukraine maybe?
Well, I don't know. This is nothing is as important as personal
and
horrible things.
Dr. N, I am so sorry. I did not mean to go this
Oh
long.
no, that's quite all right. I don't have that much important to say, and we can just talk more generally. America has a Department of War. We have a Secretary of War. Let's see what else we have. I mean, all kinds of crap's happening down here.
They're legitimating crypto.
Yeah, money's being spent on sending troops to do nothing. And in fact, this talk about scams, they're only being hired or they're only being deployed on 29-day
Right.
deployments. So so the government doesn't have to pay any health care or housing stuff for them. And then they just re-up the 29-day thing. And it's just, so somebody's going to get mad about this. I don't know.
Did you see those two veterans being arrested? The anti-Trump veterans. Earlier today. Might have been yesterday. Might have been yesterday. A female and a male. One was ex-intelligence. They were just screaming, "We've got to get these fuckers out of government," basically. They're corrupt as fuck. Get them the fuck out.
There's just
Oh, that's Brant.
the craziness is happening down in our little part.
You're in the fishbowl again. You gotta fix that mic again.
Again. Tell you what.
No, it sounded
Oh no,
okay.
not you, Lane. It's Anne.
Oh,
No.
I thought you
Coming
meant me,
through.
little
Fine.
fudge. Little tinker. This is still live, isn't it?
Yo, forgive me,
Yeah.
guys. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
I have to go check in on my father. I will be back, but I'm going to turn off my video and sound.
Yep.
Go check in my father. I'm posting the GoFundMe link there. Not to get none of you have to donate, but I wrote the description of what happened in more detail than here. So between the podcast episode and the GoFundMe, you'll have a very good idea of what to look for. Because like we have to stop this ourselves. And again, like from the bottom of my heart, like it's so good to be back with you guys. I'm gonna cry. I will be back.
Love you, man. Maybe we should cover what's coming up next and over the weekend. Let's see. Is Anne's mic back? Nothing? Where?
What?
Nothing.
What?
Hey, this is Susanna.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Susanna.
Hi. I put this in the chat for our online folks.
Oh, yeah.
We got Saturday night theater. It is live, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. tomorrow
6
night.
p.m. Yeah.
6 p.m. because we got a wonderful ball game at 8 p.m.
Oh.
But this is a 1947 classic noir. It is absolutely excellent. Ride the Pink Horse. So if you
Oh.
like a great story, acting, and dialogue, join me at 6 p.m. Thanks.
What year was that from again?
1947.
Boy.
And it stars the great Robert Montgomery, who was the great Elizabeth Montgomery's daddy.
Well, following that at 8 o'clock is Game Time with Henchman 21. He's got the most intense grudge match in the nation. It's the biggest rivalry in the nation that most of the nations never heard of. Number 7 Montana Tech and number 25 Carroll College square off in a grudge match older than your grandpa's Letterman jacket. Expect hard hits, loud crowds, and more drama than a Thanksgiving dinner with in-laws. But later this evening, we've got Night Gallery coming up. Is John around? John, you want to talk about
John is around.
this? Another uplifting, positive, maybe humorous episode of Night Gallery this time?
None of the above.
Oh, it's breaking out.
It is, I think, a good one. It is based on a story by Conrad Aiken, who was a recipient of the Pulitzer Prize, a National Book Award, and was the Poet Laureate of the United States. It's deeply psychological, and I think it'll result in some interesting discussion.
Oh. After that, we've got Poker Face. I believe that's the penultimate episode. Travis, you want to mention something about it? You're free. Not on Sunday. We've got weekly Mark. We got Art Attack with Texas Tom. Weekly Mark's reading group at 2. And at 5 o'clock, John, we've got Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Manhunt. This is sounding Randy.
Yeah, yes, it is. Lexana Troy, Deanna Troy's mother, is on the hunt for a man.
Ooh.
She's going through a phase, shall we say. that betazoids go through. And
Did you wear this one out with the pause button as well, John?
no.
Pause,
Similar to
rewind,
Vulcans?
pause, rewind, pause, rewind, pause,
No,
rewind.
no. That was true of the last one, but not this
Oh,
one. Yeah. And yes, Mick Fleetwood is in it as a large fish.
So Miss Touchy Feely gets all hot and bothered? Is that what you're
Her
saying?
mother.
Oh, her mother.
Her mother, yeah.
So this is the famous Mick Fleetwood one. Finally,
Yes.
So
superb.
is this transformation as gnarly as the Vulcan
Not quite
mating?
as intense. No. No, there's no fighting in this episode. No hand-to-hand combat until the death in this one.
And he definitely still looks like Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah, you're not going to recognize him, I'm afraid. But Mrs. Troy is played by Majel Barrett, who was Mrs. Jean Roddenberry as well.
Lane, you got something for us on Sunday?
No, but I'm just
Social?
thinking, actually, I will now. I didn't. Well, I'll word that better. Hadn't until trying to mention Mick Fleetwood. So I might do a little Peter Green Fleetwood Mac night. There are two brilliant documentaries on Fleetwood Mac, but one of them I can't find. It's old and it's the best one because it's got the best live stuff on. Anyhow, yeah, because people have different ideas as to which period of Fleetwood Mac was the best. But at one point, they had the best guitarist in the fucking planet until Hendrix came along. Even B.B. King said, "That boy gives me the chills." That's quite an astonishing thing to have said about you. And he was,
An endorsement.
yeah, he was a manic depressive, and he went nuts on an acid trip in Germany and joined a hippie commune and was never seen again for about 40 years. People were going, he was like a Sid Barrett. He was like mysterious, like, oh, there's been rumours. Someone thinks they've seen Peter Green. And most of those rumours were false because he'd been living in a flat in London, minding his own business, getting on with life. Had a lovely life, just got dropped right out of everything. And then he re-established the instrument again, started playing not long before he died. And he was a beautiful, beautiful man. Hell of a guitarist and a good singer.
Right on. So just to review our menu for this evening, we've got Gochujang fried cauliflower with tangy lingonberry, chili lingonberry sauce. So it's going to be exploding with the lingonberries, kind of like miniature cranberries. I put some Sichuan peppercorn in there as well. The slurry that I created was with cornstarch and wheat flour, salt,
So
and
appealing.
baking bicarbonate soda, and then a little soda water. Toss it in sesame seeds as well. So then we fry it twice and then toss it in the caramelized sauce that you make. It's fantastic.
Joe, a quick suggestion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never use the word slurry when you're
Yeah.
talking about your food.
It's just one of those words that it just feels so sensuous to use.
I think of industrial runoff when I hear slurry.
Well,
but then, of course, most Americans prefer the Californianized version of Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks and what other fella, Lindsey Buckingham. He looked a little bit like Jesus. For a
I
while.
enjoyed using the slurry there John, but
Yes.
you'll be happy to know I waited on whether or not to make something like these possibly chanterelles. It's the second time picking them, so we're not sure. We need a little help from a neighbor. But while we were getting all of our berries,
So those are possibly non-lethal mushrooms.
well, there may be a false chanterelle in there or
Oh.
two. That was our. We've got our blueberries and lingonberries, sort of.
Nice. I think we can hear Anne. Anne,
Uh,
are you saying something?
I'm still trying to get my
little babe.
Well,
still trying to get the microphone.
All right, we'll definitely do better next week.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Kelly's asking about bicarb of soda, Joe.
Oh,
Something about
Bicarbonate
bicarbonate
of
of soda.
um,
What about it? Oh, it aerates the flour mixture and adds to the crispiness, along with the potato flour.
it's said to be an
Soda,
effective
right?
tool for hangovers as well. I've yet to discover that.
Okay, we're gonna try and do better.
Don't
next
take
week.
medical advice.
Next
All right,
time,
we'll see
Manly
you
will
next
find her
week.
way out of a box. You'll be
Bye.
able to hear her properly.